That's the one spot. Like, we have a lot of guys there that we feel good about. We just don't have a lot of experience. Like, if you're talking about every single position other than inside linebacker, we have guys that have started multiple games. Most of them started multiple years. That inside linebacker group, it's really talented. You just don't have a lot of guys that have played that position. You got Jacob Rodriguez, you got Josiah Pierre. That's, he played 620-something snaps last year, but that was at outside linebacker. Moved him inside. He's had a great summer. Love how he's changed his body. Really excited about him. But then you also have some young guys that their ceilings are ridiculous. We have two of the fastest linebackers in the country when you're talking about Justin Horn and Michael Dingle. And, so that's exciting to see those guys. The progression of Ben Roberts and Ty Kana through the spring has been really fun to watch, and seeing what they're doing with their bodies this summer. And so that's one position you're going to see a lot of guys play early and, see who kind of fights it out to be the starters. But, on defense, I don't think there's a position that we don't play too deep every single game. And so we want to be 22-plus strong whenever it comes to the defensive side of the ball and the style of defense that we play. And so it's really important that we can find 4+ inside backers to give us reps.
There's always like a position that you always say is a positive one that you always improve. Is there one that kind of surprised you throughout the spring practice? You're like, well, I didn't realize they were that good.
What's crazy, and this comment, I don't want it to sound discouraging to anybody, but C.J. Baskerville, who's a transfer, how that guy got out of the state of Texas and realized that's a knock on me, because I was recruiting this state and I know that area. I think a lot of it probably had to do with COVID, because he was in that group that you couldn't go out and see him in person. But him playing the star position, he is a very impressive young man. I mean, he's 6'2 plus. He's 216 pounds right now. He's got a huge football IQ, very high IQ. And so I thought he was going to be a good football player. I didn't know how good. I'm really excited to see how well he plays for us.
Coach, what are the Vegas Raiders getting to Tyree Wilson? And what was your reaction to seeing a Red Raider be taken so high, a defensive Red Raider?
Man, it was awesome. Number one, I was lucky enough to be in the green room, see one call change his life. The moments with his family was so cool. And, Tyree's comment actually to, the guy that carries the Texas Tech flag, Pat Mahomes, is, hey, listen, man, you got the offensive side of the ball in the NFL. I'm going to take the defensive side of the ball, and I'm going to rep the Texas Tech defensive side of the ball. I think you're about to see a lot more guys on that side of the ball get drafted in the future. We think both of our outside backers are NFL football players, and both will get drafted, Miles Cole and Steve Linton next year. But it was awesome, and it shows the importance that we're placing on that side of the ball, but it also shows Tim DeRuyter's defense. He's had back-to-back #1 draft picks at that position. And so if you want to play at a high level, play great football, and have an opportunity to play in the NFL, you come to Texas Tech and play outside linebacker.
Coach, when you built out this staff, were you intentional about hiring former head coaches like Tim DeRuyter and Kenny Perry?
Yeah, very. From the standpoint, I go in their office a lot and say, hey, take this hat off and put this hat on. I think it's really important that you have guys that are unselfish on your staff, but also challenge you. I mean, the one thing, our very first staff meeting, I told them, I said, do not get upset being questioned by anybody in this building. That is how we get better. I learned that from Matt Rule. You do it respectfully, you do it the right way. There's times that you have to do it behind closed doors, but I'm not ever taken back or get upset if one of the coaches questions what we do. I have a reason why we're doing it, and I can tell them why we're doing it. But I think that's the only way you get better, if you challenge each other. And having guys that have done it and been very successful as head coaches, I still believe Kenny Perry's going to be a head coach at the college level. And, sooner rather than later. And he's ready, and Tim's done it, and, man, he's invaluable. Both of those guys are. That's a great question. Thanks for asking that.
Coach, after this year, Arkansas with A&M we're in the World Series here. I know Jerry Jones, even though they're going to, Jerry Jones still wants to have a game here in Arkansas every year. Do you live in your area?
I'm in.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, Texas Tech.
Well, I'll sign. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to talk for Kirby and for the board because those guys are my bosses. But the opportunity for a guy that was born in Texarkana, that had season tickets to the Arkansas Razorback games, that grew up, the old Southwest Conference, which was such a phenomenal conference. We had the opportunity. I was really hoping that we were going to play them in the Texas Bowl. You have two fanatical fan bases, two of the best fan bases in college sports, period. And so if we can make that happen and Kirby and the crew's good with it, man, I'll sign up right now for that.